Now it's possible to generate fiction, which can be entertaining. But if you can generate fiction, so can your audience. So your audience is going to be looking for different structures to ground their entertainment. This could be through some understanding of you as a person, but it is tremendously difficult to describe you to a wide variety of people. Also, whenever you describe yourself, you create a likeness that is replicable. This is why the software engineering industry should probably be mindful of creating more deterministic paths for developers to grow. Although, if you spend enough time with computer science and you grow something incrementally, I suppose that's what we can look for. The US, in some ways, is the entertainment capital of the world, and so there's a projected desire for most things that America produces to be entertaining. This has kind of incentivized us to create very attractive doorways that don't have a lot of structure. So people can explore things at a superficial level and they aren't necessarily incentivized to go further. This means that the structures that can decay often are. And the language that's common is the language that is of the doorway instead of the language that is deeply based in expertise. You can kind of imagine this like some people designed systems to be fish, and now those fish are expiring because they haven't been fed or refrigerated. This is how complex software systems behave. Some of the complex software systems are living fish in active water, and others are living fish in stagnant water. Others are dead fish that need to be refrigerated. It is very difficult to describe a complex system to someone who doesn't have the patience to navigate complexity. Oftentimes, this results in technical debt, which manifests in relationships as spiritual debt. This creates compounding lags in communication. Socially, we see this playing out with increased tensions across specific lines of identity. Ideally, we would live and let live, although we create straw men of people that we try to protect and forget that there are actual humans involved in the development of relationship. So a lot of developmentally toxic patterns are enabled to persist because we're chasing the wrong targets. Ideally, we would practice sharing language more, although it's hard to tell someone what they would do with muscles they don't have. The best we can do is demonstrate success in other ways, although our metrics for success aren't necessarily going to be common. Theoretically, this isn't a bad thing, although socially this can be challenging. If it's necessary for you to have your role specifically because you are the only person who can do what you can do, the people around you don't necessarily need to integrate your value. Therefore, they can expect you to behave in the ways that they uniquely are meant to behave, and this pattern happens at scale. This has led to distrust between the people who are looking for work done and the people who are looking to contribute, because the consequence of going without needs as a human is that you lose access to the things that make it easier for you to exist as a human. Companies aren't humans, so they don't need to do the same things. Changing the culture requires a very intentional amount of effort from people who understand complex systems. People who understand complex systems also need to work with people who can describe complex systems, which is a different skill set. It is possible to learn how to describe complex systems and understand complex systems, although it does require a decent amount of schooling. It is possible to learn on your own, although it is very unlikely. The reason is that you can get caught in something entertaining about the complex system and use all of your energy understanding the doorway. Actually having mentorship or an apprenticeship or an internship to show you what is possible with depth is necessary with complex systems. A lot of simple systems that look out for themselves create behaviors that emerge as complexity. The ability to understand a lot of simple systems creates complexity.